Welcome to the Sunset Strip. I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And we are here to discuss episode 2 of season only of Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
The cold open. Although...
Okay.
Wait. I was just going to say, this and the last episode, Pilot, ran as one television event.
Yeah, that's probably why I remembered the Gilbert and Sullivan parody as being in the first episode. Okay, we need to get in front of it. Is that possibly the worst written piece of comedy ever?
I genuinely, this afternoon when I was taking notes for what we're going to talk about right now, I wrote down the lines to the parody that they do so that we can discuss it in detail. And I thought about writing an in-depth essay on why it's terrible, in addition to the fact that we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, which makes it worse than something that's just like a dumb fart joke. Because with a dumb fart joke, you can just say, that was a dumb fart joke. And you are done with it. And you can move on with your life. This is bad in a way where you have to think about it a lot, and then you want to keep thinking about it because that's how bad it is.
It's bad on multiple levels, which we will get into.
Oh my god.
But it's bad on so...
Oh my god.
I can't wait to get into it.
It's just... I'm going to use a series of filthy metaphors later. Just a heads up on that.
But in the episode proper, we open on a press conference where Jordan, the new head of the network...
the new woman head of the network.
Oh, and in fact, the very first question is, as a woman, how will you be doing things differently than a normal man would be?
See, I'd be excited to get to the part of the show where we don't need to be reminded of Jordan's gender in literally every scene she's in, except she gets pregnant really early on, and then everything's kind of about that.
And then the show was canceled. And also, it's an Aaron Sorkin show, so that never would have happened. But yes, she's doing a press conference because last week, and this is happening Monday, we are told, and on Friday, the showrunner of Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, the show within a show, had a breakdown on air?
Yes, where he decried the evils of television and how people used to write letters, goddammit, and why doesn't the mailman smile anymore?
Kids used to know cursive and a cup of coffee cost a dime.
We would drink out of the hose, all of the playground equipment was made out of metal, no one was suing over a spilled cup of hot coffee that, melted a lady's skin off.
Oh, okay, just so the listeners know, and I mean, maybe some of them do. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the air before.
I think that we have, so we should probably keep it.
But if you want to get me going, just bring up the hot coffee case, and I will tear into you about the hot coffee case.
Oh my god, there's like a non-0% chance that we have listeners who have no idea what we're talking about because they weren't born when that happened.
Okay, that's wild. I feel like they would still know about it. I mean, Adam did an Adam Ruins Everything about it.
Who is the target audience for Adam Ruins Everything?
I don't know. But listen,
I actually probably would have been really into it as a kid.
Speaking of ruining things, though, I used to have a photo on my phone's photo roll of her injuries, and when people would make a glib comment about hot coffee, I would just pull it out and show them her injuries and be like, oh, I'm sorry, do you not think that these third-degree burns where you can see bone on the inner thigh deserve some sort of compensation?
Her skin literally melted. It's horrifying.
Anyway.
Press conference.
Right. Jordan is doing a press conference, and the big point of this press conference is to address what happened with Wes and the old showrunner, and also to introduce the new head writer and showrunner, Matt and Danny.
Still think it's fascinating that Matthew Perry definitely had them name his character Matt so he wouldn't have to think of a new name. Or possibly, in case the show became really, really big, it would, to the degree that it replaced Friends in the public consciousness, people would be calling him by his actual name instead of Chandler.
Oh, it's an interesting theory. All right, so I just want to point out a thing that Jordan says at this press conference.
Okay.
She's talking about her philosophy about television, and one of the things she says is, I believe that people who watch television shows are not necessarily dumber than people who write television shows. And that is how you know that she is not the Aaron Sorkin stand-in.
Yeah. No, this show thinks that she is wrong and bad for saying this, and it will punish her. Oh, this show will punish her.
It's just...
For the sin of being a woman, 10,000 years, dungeon!
This show just, it so wants to have its cake and eat it too, right? They want to talk about how all of the people writing for Studio 60 are the smartest and most important people in the room, and also tell us, as the watchers of Studio 60, that we are bad people for thinking that middle America is dumb for not getting it. But also, aren't they dumb for not getting it? Like...
It's really interesting to see a show that actively despises and belittles its audience.
So, you know what this really reminds me of?
What?
This is a weird one, okay?
Okay.
The movie Funny Games.
Oh, God. Ugh, barf.
Because here's the thing. I don't like torture porn movies. They really bother me. I will watch a good slasher horror movie, or like a good, really, really heavy-handed metaphor horror movie like A24 does. Like, I'll watch those and enjoy them. But the ones that are just like, oh, watch me slice this person up. No, not, I can't. It bothers me. And so Funny Games offends me on like a visceral level, because Funny Games is like, aren't you evil for liking this? And I'm like, I don't like it.
And yet you like the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe books.
I like meta.
I'm sorry. The whole... You're the one responsible for me killing all the superheroes because you thought this was interesting enough to buy the book. I'm like, oh my God. I am a notable hot take incoming. I am a notable Deadpool hater. He's just not funny.
You know that I'm like a Deadpool lover, right? Like I actually wrote the essay about Deadpool in Jay and Miles' zine.
I am aware of this, yes.
Is this a problem for us?
I mean, I don't think we've ever actually talked about this before.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But, like, he's just... You know the bit in Futurama where they're doing the MASH parody, and there's that one robot who has a switch between irreverent and maudlin, and he just flips between... That's Deadpool as a character. He's just the robot flipping the switch between irreverent and maudlin.
I did not have a problem with Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, because Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is about how comics work. Funny Games is not about how torture porn works. It's just about scolding the audience for watching the movie that this person made. Much like Aaron Sorkin is... Well, so that's the thing, right? Aaron Sorkin is not scolding the audience for watching TV. He's praising the audience for being better than their neighbors for watching the right TV.
You're right. I'm sorry. He is not condescending and belittling to the people watching his show. You are a better class of person. Yeah, you know, I was exactly wrong.
You know what he's doing?
What?
He's giving us an intellectual reach around.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Sorry, Max.
Oh my God.
We'll come back. We'll come back to that later. It's a line from the terrible Gilbert and Sullivan song that I actually have a lot of notes to talk about.
Oh my God. Yes.
In fact, if we didn't have we haven't released the first episode yet, so we still have time to make changes. If we didn't have a format for what we name our shows, I really feel like the intellectual reach around might be a good name for a Studio 60 podcast.
Is it too late to hyphenate? Can we do that? Can we?
Welcome to the Sunset Strip, the intellectual reach around. We're not doing that.
A rope of sand.
Jesus Christ. Okay, back to the press conference.
Matt is specifically kind of nervous and out of it because he was on drugs specifically for a back injury. The show really wants you to know that because we talked about this in the first episode.
Right, but he's upset that Danny basically sent him home to sleep it off, so he lost a whole day of writing. And also, he sent him home with Jeannie, which is going to make things difficult with Harriet.
Yes, it will. Which is why you probably shouldn't be the head writer on a show where your ex is the star.
Oof. I think I will want to talk about that a lot more later, too. So Jordan introduces the guys. She tells them that they are basically Jesus Christ reincarnated,
as comedy writers.
As comedy writers, and they're here to save us.
You are lucky to bask in their presence, you worms.
Yes.
God, I'm going to paraphrase Nick DeRamio.
Go for it.
Being Aaron Sorkin must be like being on full-time crystal meth. Like, this man is so high on his own supply. I mean, honest to God, I can't imagine what it would be like having that level of self-confidence. Like, it doesn't particularly make for great television, but it's admirable. Like, this man believes his own hype.
I mean...
He did
sometimes it does, right? Sometimes it's the West Wing. All right,
Also, I heard good things about Newsroom. I never watched it.
I have never watched it other than, like, clips I've seen of it. I'm just going to say my problem with Newsroom, especially because I feel like it kind of comes back around to a lot of my problems with... no, it's a whole new problem with Aaron Sorkin, actually. But I'm just going to say my problem with Newsroom. Which
this is why he hates us, right?
He hates us so much.
Hi, Aaron Sorkin. We do really love your show.
Do we?
I like it better than there's a lot of shows that are just like, you start watching them and you're like, and then you never think about them ever again. There's a lot of really middle of the road shows. But the thing is, with this show, like,
I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, we've both watched it multiple times, not past the Christmas episode. And if you meet someone else who's seen it, you're gonna talk about it.
I've probably watched this episode 7 or 8 times.
Yeah, like, which is arguably this is good television, right?
And let's be clear, man can write some dialogue.
He can, although I was shocked. Earlier today, I was talking to my mom and I was describing the speech he has Matt give in the, writer's room.
About the clothing?
Yeah, and I was like, it's the boomeriest thing ever. It is the boomeriest thing ever. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't think he's a boomer. My mom, she looks it up. He was like 40 when this show came out.
No, he's just a boomer at heart.
Yeah, like, this is some...
He was born with boomer energy.
Yeah, this is some Andy Rooney level kvetching.
Yeah, no. That's just the way he was. And in fact, we're going to start talking a little bit in this episode about what he thinks is funny.
Oh, my God.
And we're not even talking boomers. Now we're talking, like, even older. And that's just a thing. No, my issue with Newsroom, though, is that it takes place about 2 years prior to the real time when it was being filmed.
Oh, you've told me about this before, but yes, it's such a good point.
And he's like, here's how I would have reported the news story, in hindsight, but I definitely would have gotten it right at the time. And it's like, dude, yeah, of course, you looked at the back of the book for the answers. Of course, your guys are the best newsroom in the world. You have prophecy.
Yeah, they have yeah. Oh my God, yes.
I don't know about these other news shows. I would just already know what's going to happen. Anyway.
I would know which stories are important and which to highlight and how they will interconnect in the future once more information is available.
And which stuff is going to turn out to be a fraud or a scam.
I knew about Balloon Boy while it was happening.
Ugh. Anyway, Cal, the guy who runs the control room, lets everybody know that they can watch the press conference on the closed circuit TV, and everybody goes to watch the press conference because it's the most important thing.
It is, in fact, the most important thing. Okay, now, what's her name? Fake Kristen Chenoweth?
Harriet.
Harriet has invited...
Jeannie,
thank you. I was like, Jordan? No, that's wrong, but I know it starts with a G. J, my God. Harriet has invited Jeannie into her spider web.
Okay, I actually think that this is the green room for all of them, so I don't think she's invited her. I think Jeannie's supposed to be here. We learn that Jeannie is another cast member, and we learn that this is Jeannie because Harriet helpfully calls out when she walks into the room, "Oh, it's Jeannie with the light brown hair."
Clever.
And Jeannie asks Harriet how she's going to be, working with Matt. And, okay, the show technically passes the Bechdel test because we have two characters who are named Harriet and Jeannie. And Harriet says, "Oh, I wish I had your body." And Jeannie says, "I wish I had your talent."
Bechdel test passed.
What the fuck, Aaron? Oh my god!
I think it's really important for you to know, Harriet, that you have super nice boobs. I wish I had boobs like yours.
No. Harriet wishes she had nice boobs like Jeannie. But it's okay because Harriet's funny.
Oh my god. I don't think it's supposed to be. I think this is accidentally the most passive-aggressive conversation ever. Spoiler alert for our A Gender I Write Very Well.
Yeah, that might come up again. Alright, at the press conference, because, we're cutting back and forth between everyone backstage listening to it and seeing it go on, the press wants to know how Matt and Danny feel about coming back to the show with all the stuff that went down before when they were fired.
How do you feel about working with Jordan and her boss, Frank What's-His-Face?
Jack,
What's-His-Face? Steven Weber.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, gay! Sorry, I was on Friends for 10 years, so my default response to anything is a gay joke.
Seriously, I know it was 2006, but oh my god, get it together! He's like, oh, he's actually a good friend and a gentle lover. And it's like, Jesus Christ, Matt.
And
this guy's supposed to be like a genius comedian.
You know how "What Are You Gay" is Monica's catchphrase for the last 4 seasons of Friends? And Danny laughs at it. This is supposed to be like a clever bon mot. It's like Jerry Seinfeld and his stupid gay French king joke. Like, it's not funny. That's why the kids on campus weren't laughing. It's not because everything's too woke. Also, you never really did much gay humor outside of the joke about being worried that everyone assumes that he's gay because he's neat, and he's worried that he'll accidentally go into the wrong store and someone will make him hold hands with a man and then he'll be gay.
Okay, so you didn't actually watch Seinfeld.
I've seen a few episodes of it.
It's really showing right now because there's like a seminal gay Seinfeld episode.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yes, which I actually feel like is slightly more progressive.
Yeah.
Than what's happening right now.
I mean, Friends kicked their ass in that department. They had a whole ass lesbian wedding.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
But they were also so homophobic in other ways. I did that supercut of all of the Friends jokes that were homophobic, and then I ended up not doing anything with it because it just felt so icky.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good point. And yes, a lot of the punchlines are just Rainier Wolfcastles. Perhaps you all are homosexuals.
Honestly, the past is a foreign country. Like, even so recently in the past.
Well, I mean, this is actually further back, but if you watch Monster Squad, a movie about a bunch of middle schoolers fighting Dracula, the movie opens with 5 straight minutes of this group of 7 8th grade boys going off on this massive homophobic tirade about how their vice principal is gay. It's the thing about how, like, if the Stranger kids talked like kids actually talked in the 80s, you would be rooting for those monsters to eat them.
Well, I mean, to paraphrase American Dad, it was wrong then and it's wrong now, and in our new 1980s it isn't allowed.
Yes.
I mean, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, a otherwise very wholesome movie.
I forget about it. I forget about
littered with the F slur.
Yeah, I forget that there's a running gag where whenever Bill and Ted show each other physical affection, they immediately shove each other and yell the gay F slur. It's like, that's not to get into the massive shit show that was the Universal Bill and Ted Halloween show.
Okay.
Were you unaware of this? They shut it down because, like, I think 2008, the show they did was so homophobic that the park faced, like, this massive boycott, and they ended up pulling the show altogether.
Okay, so I don't know this for sure.
Yes.
But you know that I grew up in Florida.
I do.
And that we had season passes to Universal Studios. Mm-hmm. It was one of my favorite parks. And I feel like I know probably still to this day, if you sat me down in front of them, I would still know all the shows by heart.
Yeah.
And I do not remember ever seeing the Bill and Ted show, so it mustn't have run very long. It might have even only been a Halloween thing.
No, I think it was a Halloween thing for multiple Halloweens, though.
But I mean, it wasn't a running show. In fact, I'm pretty sure it ran where Beetlejuice's Graveyard Review ran like every day, and then for some reason for Halloween they would swap it out with Bill and Ted. That's what I think happened.
That's weird. Also, it might not have been Universal. It might have been a different park.
No, it's definitely Universal. I've seen it like online, but I do not remember ever seeing it at the park.
Yeah.
So it did not run for a long time, is what I'm saying.
The show that got them booted, keep in mind this was in like the mid to late 2000s. The show that got them booted was a Wizard of Oz parody with Bill and Ted, where Superman becomes gay and then spends the entire review trying to have sex with them.
Oh, you know what? I went to college I graduated high school and then moved out to go to college in 99. Maybe it happened after my time.
No, it definitely did. It was in the 2000s.
Oh, of course. Okay, so that's why I don't remember it. I'm like, how is it that I can still do the Blues Brothers show, from memory, but I have no memory of even seeing this show?
Yeah, no, this was way later than you would think it would be.
Okay, yeah, they probably replaced the Beetlejuice's Graveyard Review. Which is where Beetlejuice resurrects the Universal monsters, and then they do a rock and roll show.
That sounds fun.
It was fun! So the reporters ask Matt why it is that he's coming back to Studio 60 instead of doing the movie that he was planning to do.
The brilliant Nikola Tesla movie he was going to do.
Yeah, we had heard about the movie last episode, but we didn't hear what it was. It is a movie about Nikola Tesla. And
it's called Tesla. It's got an exclamation mark, and it's a musical. It's going to be amazing.
I think you mean Electric Love?
Oh my god. Is this going to be like the thing with the Simpsons Planet of the Apes musical, where it immediately ruined any chance anyone ever had of making a Planet of the Apes musical? Because there's no way you would not walk out of the theater going, I hate every chimp I see, from chimpan A to chimpanzee. Oh, you'll never make a monkey out of me.
Here's the thing, there's a Hunchback musical, despite the fact that The Critic did Hunch. Even as I say this out loud, nobody else watched The Critic.
I can't believe you were comparing The Simpsons at the height of its powers to The Critic, which, I'm sorry, The Critic is good. Speaking of issues with women. Oh, yes.
Both.
Yeah. There are multiple episodes where Jay Sherman has a love interest who does not have a name. They fix it a little bit in the second season where they make him, nicer and they give him Alice. Did you not like the nicer seasons of The Critic?
Here's the thing. I really enjoyed all of The Critic when it was airing and I was watching it, and it made me feel like I was smarter than other people because I was watching the smart... Yeah, see what I'm doing here?
Yeah,
no, but it's true. Except that I was a teenager, so that was an appropriate feeling for me to be having. Anyway.
Weird.
I know, but I don't even care because they're so... Anyway... I know we often talk about, oh my god, we've been talking for so long. I don't even care. These episodes are just going to be 2 hours long, and our listeners will listen or not. It's up to them.
Yeah, we're only doing half of the season, so it's compensating for time you otherwise would have lost.
There you go.
Justified.
But back to the Nikola Tesla comedy that Matt is writing. I mean, they don't say it's a comedy.
Imagine it's his first journey into drama.
I mean, that actually makes more sense. But I'm like, what would a Nikola Tesla comedy even be? Except terrible.
It would be that Will Ferrell, Holmes and Watson movie.
That's kind of what I was thinking, right?
I laughed at one joke in the trailer, and then I felt really bad about it because everything else. I mean, you shouldn't feel bad for laughing.
You know the scene in 30 Rock where Lutz comes in carrying the giant tray of puddings, and then he falls and spills and breaks all the puddings on himself?
Yeah.
And the point of that joke is, no matter how sophisticated you think you are, you're gonna laugh at physical comedy.
Yes.
That's...
Although the Three Stooges have stayed fairly well dead despite that. I mean, I feel like we are up for a resurgence in physical comedy, but I don't ever think the Three Stooges are gonna have they had a cultural stranglehold at one point.
Okay, so this is just an outsider, not somebody who writes comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just my guess as to why that is. I think it's less funny to see people attacking each other than it is to watch someone clumsy just fall on their face. And I think that's where that shift happened, where we don't want to watch the Three Stooges anymore.
I was going to make a really weird analogy here. I don't even know. Analogy. It's funny if a girl in a rom-com is clumsy and keeps falling over. It's horrifying if a girl in a rom-com keeps falling over because dudes keep hitting her.
It ends with us in theaters now.
God. Oof.
Can we keep that in, or do I have to cut that out, do you think?
No,
I'm keeping it in because they're marketing it like it's... please, we're like the last people to say this. They're marketing it like it's a rom-com when it's about domestic violence, which, to be fair, is what they did with the novel, so why should this be any different? It's so messed up. Anyway, moving on.
Is this that movie where Blake Lively's suing that guy in real life?
I have specifically avoided all of the articles that have popped up on my feed about the behind-the-scenes drama because I don't care about what's going on the screen. I do not... I am refusing to learn about the behind-the-scenes drama, but yeah, there's a bunch of behind-the-scenes drama.
Yeah, I haven't. I've also been avoiding it because...
Anyway, Danny says that the reason they're not doing the movie is because he tested positive for drugs, and so now...
That's not something you say at a press conference.
Yeah, we actually see Jack, the head of the network, talking about, like, saying to himself, because they've gone over the talking points so much, obviously, I'm excited to return to TV, I love television, I'm excited to be back at Studio 60, I grew up on the show. And instead he's like, yeah, I tested positive for cocaine, and I can't be bonded for 18 months, so here I am.
It's a real Iron Man at the end of the first Iron Man movie moment.
It really is.
God, it's so interesting how much that changed all of media. Like, that was a fairly by-the-number superhero movie.
Oh, I disagree.
I think it was good, but I mean...
Ooh, you know what? Okay, like, maybe yes, it was by the numbers, but it was perfectly executed. Like, it was just so well done.
Yeah, no, it was a really good version of what it was, which was an early 2000s superhero movie.
But I remember...
But that last line, that's the thing that shifted it. Him just being like, I'm Iron Man.
And then just playing the opening chords of the song, getting the audience so excited before they leave the theater.
I mean, I guess the real thing is the, Nick Fury thing after the credits.
No, even if you don't watch the after credits scene, just like getting so hyped hearing the opening chords of Iron Man. It's just it was well executed. But I remember like watching it in theaters for the third time and just thinking this script is so tight. This is just so well constructed.
I might need to rewatch the early 2000s Fantastic Four movies. I do not remember them as being good. Yes, I know the thing that you're thinking about right now.
The Roger Corman one?
Oh no, I thought you were thinking about the spoiler for movie that just came out.
I watched a bootleg of that one in a party in college. That was...
I mean, that is the ideal venue. That or at Comic-Con.
Yeah. But not like in Hall H, but like in someone's room after.
Yeah, someone bought the DVD and now you're all in someone's room. I haven't done that in so long, but also, COVID and child, so.
Yeah. I keep wanting to go back to con, and then every time, like San Diego, everyone came back with COVID this year. Like, every time I think I might feel safe going back to a comic book convention, I'm just like, oof, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a big surge time for COVID, too. I caught it for the first time ever, which, I had a really mild case. It was fine.
But yeah, we live in Portland, which means Rose City Comic Con is here, and Emerald City Comic Con is just 3 hours away.
Yeah, we were going to take our kid for the first time, but we're not doing that now. No.
Yeah. I wish cons would be diligent about having masking requirements, but...
Or ventilation stuff.
Yeah. Well, they can't really control that.
No, I mean venues.
Right. I wish venues would be better about that.
Studio 60. Okay, so at the press conference, Danny has just revealed that he is a habitual drug user, and therefore they need to slum it on this show for however long it takes
18
him.
months.
18 months until he's not positive for cocaine anymore.
And then they're going to take one more question, and it is a woman from Rapture Magazine.
Oof.
Who wants to know if the sketch Crazy Christians is going to air this week.
And Jordan's like, yep, sure is. Fuck you, Christianity.
And there's this thing where Matt is trying to, hedge. He's like, it's Monday, I don't know what we're going to air on Friday. And he's doing that because he doesn't want to be tied to having to do this sketch.
That he wrote, 5 years ago, which, honestly, I can see that as being kind of a nightmare situation.
Mm-hmm. But Danny jumps in and he's like, no, we're absolutely going to air it. And then the press conference is over. Everyone is in the hall doing an Aaron Sorkin walk and talk.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack comes in to debrief / scream at everyone for fucking up the press conference. Danny's like, hey, I had to tell him the truth. I'm an addict. Addicts have to be, like, brutally honest. And Jack is like, oh my god, I'm so fucking mad right now. I am here! I need to be here, and I am here!
And Jack tells him, she's like, this is a business, and for businesses to run, shareholders need to be happy. So your self-esteem and recovery is not really our highest priority.
I mean, I would think him not going back into addiction would be a pretty high priority. Like, you just hung a lot of pressure on him.
Mm.
Jordan is upset that the woman from Rapture magazine has press credentials, and the PR person from the network is like, Rapture magazine has 4 times the circulation of Vanity Fair?
And Jordan's like, huh?
Okay, I am dubious.
Yeah.
I feel like when a religious magazine has high circulation like that...
It's because the churches buy them.
Right?
Like,
those are fake numbers.
Like, I'm sure The Watchtower is the most popular magazine in America or whatever, but it's not because millions of people are reading The Watchtower.
Right, it's because all of the door-to-door missionaries have, like, huge stacks of 100 copies.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matt's angry that crazy Christian...
Oh my god, Matt's angry? What a shocking turn for this character.
He's angry that the sketch Crazy Christians got out because comedy's not as funny the second time and nobody's gonna laugh.
Comedy is as funny the second time around if you're actually good at it.
Right? That tells me...
Also, comedy is not funny the second time around. Keep that in mind for the fucking song at the end of the episode.
Well, I would say that I've watched this episode 7 or 8 times, and that song gets more hilarious every time I watch this episode. Although, probably not for the reasons Aaron Sorkin meant it to.
I don't know. Does it count? It's if it got a laugh out of you. We're talking about the show, right?
Yeah, right? Like 15 years later, we're still talking about it. Wait, 22. 22 years later.
God.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing you can't really think about too much.
Alright, woof. Okay, woof. No, but I would just point out, like, classic Saturday Night Live bits you can watch over and over. You know what isn't funny the second time around?
What?
Something that's only funny because it's shocking.
And
I feel like that's probably Matt Alby's sweet spot when it comes to humor.
it's one of the reasons why I don't really want to watch the third Deadpool movie. Like, not to keep harping on Deadpool, but, like, when we watch the second Deadpool movie, I'm like, oh, it's all the jokes from the first movie, except you're taking longer, and it's more expensive. The whole scene with X-Force, I'm like, oh my god, I know what you're going to do. You spent 30 minutes building up to it, and then you spent 30 more minutes telling the fucking joke. We get it.
Okay, so speaking of spending a long time building up to something.
This entire podcast.
Right? So credit to Aaron Sorkin where credit is due. As I mentioned before, man can write dialogue. And then this is, like, I think my favorite dialogue in the whole episode. Danny is mad at Jordan because of the press conference. He says, you know, all that stuff you said, you raised the bar a little high, don't you think? And she says, did I? Sorry. Clear it. And then the elevator doors close and we smash to credits. We've been talking for 45 minutes. We just got past the cold open of the cold open.
Oh my god. To be fair, the cold open came in, it's like 8 minutes into the episode.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But still, yes, it has been 45 minutes and we just hit the cold open. Also, I always think of the thing from Happy Endings. Do you think he worked with the nurses to time that?
Yes! Yeah, but you know what? I don't care. I love a good timing the elevator doors. So, after we come back from credits, which is really just a slam, you know, Studio 60, created by Aaron Sorkin.
Which, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of prefer. I'm okay with people not having, like, big, long opening credits anymore.
I do not like a long credit sequence. I prefer, like, Lost, right? Lost! Done.
Yeah, I mean, Happy Endings really struck the perfect balance where it is an opening credit scene, but it's like, it's got a great musical riff and it lasts like 5 seconds.
So sci-fi shows, I feel like, are particularly bad about this.
Oh, you don't love it in DS9 where they go around and around and around? Let's look at the pylons some more.
Although I do like the joke in Lower Decks where they miss the docking, port or whatever on DS9, and they're like, just fly around the station a little bit more and pretend we're in awe of the pylons. But
Lower Decks is so good.
Lower Decks is good. Stargate has a particularly long opening credit sequence too, where we're seeing the Stargate spin around and all the chevrons lock in, and it takes forever. And I appreciate in the meta episode of Stargate where they're making a TV show based on Stargate, the producer is like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. We just throw the title on screen and slam into the episode. Stargate. Done.
I think Orange is the New Black is the thing that killed it for me.
Yeah.
I also had problems with Weeds, the little boxes on the hillside.
Oh, I love that song though.
I loved that song too, until I had to listen to it 5,000 times.
Well, I mean, this is the problem when you marathon view something, right?
Yeah.
Even, I just rewatched all of Clone High, because I was trying to remember if the first season was as good as we remembered it, because the second season was such a letdown.
And the third season.
Yeah.
It is, though. The first season is so good.
It was. But that opening theme song is amazing, and I kind of made myself not skip it a single time. But by the 5th time, I was like, my finger was hovering over that skip intro button, but I was like, no, this theme song is a banger. I will listen to it every time.
Yeah.
I don't know who I was trying to prove something to. I was watching it alone.
Yeah, I mean, if I were there, I would make you watch the theme song every time because I could watch it forever.
You say that now.
I've listened to it thousands of times, not even exaggerating. It's so sad because Confucius was such a good character because they got it. They got that you need to make the personality a contrasting thing with the historical figure. He was still a good kid, but he was also very materialistic.
Yeah, that was the real problem with the later seasons. The clones had no real connection.
Well, and Frida liked art, which, come on.
That's so superficial.
Yeah. It wasn't until the Bloody Mary episode where I realized the main thing... Spoilers, yes. Oh my god, spoilers for season 3 of Clone High.
If anybody's going to watch it, it's going to be our listeners.
Yes, which, you know what, you should. It's got some good bits. It's not great or anything, but when they do the Bloody Mary, when they do the joke where they're trying to figure out who Mary is, and they're just going through this long list of historical Marys, and Cleo doesn't recognize any of them, it's such an original series joke, because it's a joke about history, which is what nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. So much stuff, Joan's whole disaffection thing, because she never heard the voice of God.
Yeah.
I know they make a lot of jokes about it, but yeah, even Gandhi. God,
you know what, though? You know what I am glad about?
What?
The fact that they did a revival. The fact that they did a revival means that Season 1 is now readily available. You don't have to watch terrible rips of it on YouTube now to watch it.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yes. Because that was the format we all knew Clone High from.
Yeah, right?
God, I watched that show so much in high school. It was, again, I know I would never skip it because it was just a constant loop.
Mm-hmm.
God, back in college, I had it memorized. My friend Taylor and I used to quote it to each other all the time. I should message her. It's been a while. I'm sorry, Studio 60.
So over at Studio 60, Matt and Danny are walking across the street from, I don't know, the one studio to the studio where the show is, so they can get to work, right? It's Monday, and they've got a show to write.
A brilliant show. Yeah.
So the first thing they do is talk to an old-timey security guard who sure is happy to see these boys back in the building. They're here to save us.
It's a little uncomfortable how earnest, I guess, this is. The security guard's aw shucks attitude rubs me very, East Coast elite writing.
He's only got like 3 or 4 lines, and it is so weird how, like, that I had to call it out.
Aw, shucks.
He's like, I'm sure I'm glad to see you boys back. Also, he's white. We're, like, I feel like the way we're talking about it, you might think that he's, like, a person of color, but no, he's a white guy.
No, he's just, for
Weirdly
some reason,
sincere.
Kenneth the Page.
Yeah, and I know Kenneth the Page wasn't based on him because the shows came out simultaneously, but yes! Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel very, Wayne right now, where I'm like, wow, that security guard sure had a lot of earnestness. So yeah, now Matt and, I almost said Matt and Ben.
Yeah.
Now Matt and Danny have to figure out who's going to take what office, right? Because the hack writers who have been doing the show are in Danny's old office, so he's going to take the AD's office, but he wants Matt to take Wes's old office.
And Wes has this giant clock that's counting down to the show.
Okay, I have so much to say about this clock! But before we say anything about the clock, I have to point out that Matt doesn't want to take the office because it's Wes's office and he has so much reverence for Wes, and he says, I'd rather take Lorne Michaels' office.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And Danny, of course, says, that's in New York and he's using it. But, important thing I want to point out, this show acknowledges the existence of Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
TGS, which takes place on... Both of these shows aired on NBC, by the way, which is weird. That's weird.
It is weird.
30 Rock never acknowledges Saturday Night Live. 30 Rock takes place in a universe where there is no Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. The girly show is Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, TGS. But we are to believe that Studio 60 exists in the same world as Saturday Night Live, has been going on for 20 years, like Saturday Night Live, and somehow is, like, still a respected comedic institution.
You know what show ran for over 20 years that was a sketch comedy show that was, weirdly enough, the only rival SNL had?
You're not going to tell me Mad TV ran for 20 years, are you?
I am going to tell you that Mad TV ran for 20 years.
Mad TV ran for 20 years?
Okay, it's been a while. I don't want to check it right now, but I am pretty sure that Mad TV ran for 20 years. You know what? I am going to check it right now. Because I don't want to be very wrong about this without you calling me out on it.
Honestly, if Studio 60 is Mad TV, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. Mad TV did not run for 20 years. It ran for 14.
That's so long! I think of it's running for like 4.
Yeah, Mad TV had 14 seasons.
Wild.
I mean, you know what? I'm not going to pretend I didn't watch a ton of Mad TV back in the day. Although I watched it as isolated sketches on YouTube. I don't think I ever sat down and watched, like, a full episode.
So I watched no Mad TV, like, at all.
How did you discover Mo Collins then?
I Love the 90s?
I actually never saw I Love the 90s.
You didn't watch I Love the 80s, I Love the 70s, I Love the 90s on VH1?
No, I don't think I ever watched VH1.
Okay, well, that's how I know Mo Collins. But I was going to say, I've literally only seen Mad TV sketches that you have shown me, but the cast of Mad TV is, like, consistently the funniest people that are working even today.
Yeah, a lot of them went on to be in Scrubs, and therefore other Bill Lawrence shows. And, like, the Barinholtzes are basically a comedy legacy icon family now.
They're like the Barrymores.
Yeah, they're like the Barrymores, except less problematic. And they all look so much like each other. American Auto got canceled too soon. Watch American Auto. It was good.
I love how we're doing this show and we're spending so much time just telling people what else to watch instead.
Also, Superstore is good.
It is good.
Although I don't think Ike Barinholtz ever showed up to it. He was.
I don't think he did either.
You think he's getting eclipsed by his younger sibling?
I don't know. I feel like I see them both about the same.
And Ike Barinholtz is in, like, actual movies now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's, like, indie stuff, but it's still actual movies. Although he was so good in Blockers.
Blockers.
Criminally underrated
Go
movie.
watch Blockers.
Go watch Blockers. It's so much better than you think it's going to be from the premise.
Right? All right, so let's talk about the clock.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So Wes had this giant doomsday clock that counts down to when the next show is going to be.
Right, it's time remaining in the week.
And Matt is terrified of this clock. He finds it the most horrifying thing on earth.
He says, like, this is why Wes went mad, right? Looking at this clock. It lets us know there's 4 days, 10 hours, 43 minutes, and some amount of seconds remaining until the next show.
I mean, honestly, this does feel like a good hook for, like, maybe not a Twilight Zone, but a Twilight Zone-esque show. Outer Limits, was that, like, fake Twilight Zone?
I mean, it wasn't fake Twilight Zone, it was alternative Twilight Zone?
It was Mad TV to Twilight Zone's SNL.
It was 30 Rock to Twilight Zone, Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Except Twilight Zone was good. Okay. First of all, the clock. You know what the clock reminds me of? A great line from Studio 60.
Yeah?
We don't go on because we're ready. We go on because it's 11:30.
Yes.
Oh wait, that's not a great line from Studio 60. That's from the trailer for Saturday Night, the movie about Saturday Night Live that's coming out. That I swear to God, I saw that trailer and I'm like, this is what Aaron Sorkin thought he was doing with Studio 60. The movie might suck, but as of right now, I'm so excited for it.
I'm glad that you're prepared for this movie to suck.
I mean, it might suck.
I mean, I know it's not the same. It's like counting Galaxy Quest as a Star Trek movie.
Galaxy Quest is a Star Trek movie.
But, like, this is going to be an SNL movie, and with, 2 exceptions, all SNL movies are bad.
We literally had this conversation last week on this show.
Which SNL movies do you think are good? I mean,
Wayne's World?
Obviously Wayne's World.
Blues Brothers?
It's 2.
Mean Girls.
Okay, that's a Galaxy Quest thing. I mean, it's probably accurate, but calling Mean Girls an SNL movie is calling Galaxy Quest a Star Trek movie.
Mean Girls is the movie that was financed by Lorne Michaels that Tina Fey got to make because she was a writer on Saturday Night Live and had paid her dues.
I'm talking about, like, It's Pat, but yes, Mean Girls is. Okay, I thought you were gonna go Coneheads, because I feel like if you were gonna do...
I liked that movie.
It was fine. It wasn't It's Pat, let's put it that way.
I mean, that was like one of those movies that, like, I feel like I watched all the time on USA as a kid. You know, it's one of those movies.
Yeah. Well, for me, I was like, it's a movie that you get at Blockbuster when they don't have the 3 movies you actually wanted, and you're like, oh, I'll just get Coneheads. It's fine. I like Jane Levy.
Hey, kids. We used to not be able to just watch literally every movie ever made streaming. We had to, like, go out of our way to find movies.
I mean, and I know it's just nostalgia, but honestly, I kind of miss it as an experience going to a video store. This will specifically date me, but it was one of the first things I did in college. Mm-hmm. Was, you know, those, like, temporary friends you make for the first few weeks of college?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've rented a bunch of bad movies, and we watched them. I had these really good friends I watched Buffy with in my dorm, and then I moved out of the dorm, and I never saw those people ever again, which is weird, because we were insanely good friends for freshman year.
I used to work at a movie gallery.
Yeah?
So, when I was in college, I would bring home terrible movies that I got for free at work, like, that I got to rent for free from work. That's why I've seen all of the sequels to Psycho.
Jesus.
Don't know if you were aware that there are sequels to the movie Psycho.
No, I was.
They're bad. They're not good. I always thought it was funny that Psycho was shelved under classics, and Psychos 2, 3, and 4 were shelved under horror. Yeah. So, the clock has a Groucho Marx quote on it. It says, "Time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana." And this is a very Aaron Sorkin thing, where he thinks comedy is old vaudeville. That's what's funny.
Yeah, that, exactly.
It's not funny, Aaron Sorkin.
So, Matt is terrified of the clock. He's like, how did it know? And Danny's like, it's a clock. It's its job to know. And Matt's like, it was unplugged. And Danny's like, it has a battery.
Ooh, time freeze.
Yeah, because obviously it would just be connected to the internet now.
Yeah, it would just be satellite. But the Groucho Marx quote, I'm sorry, I just have to tell you because I wrote in my notes that this is just Aaron Sorkin jerking off to the past with nothing new to say, which is unintentional foreshadowing for the cold open.
God. Not the episode, the cold open in this episode.
The eponymous cold open.
Yeah.
So Matt goes to meet with the writing staff. He knows no one except for Ricky and Ron, the two guys who he hates because they're hacks.
This is where Matt goes off in his little speech about how they're all dressed like junior high kids, and I know that this is a writer's room, but we need some professionalism, and...
You know what's hilarious?
No one sends letters anymore, goddammit!
You know what's hilarious? Professionalism.
What?
Professionalism.
Oh,
that makes people funny.
Oh.
But Danny tells them they all have to impress Matt or else they might get fired. Danny's being kind of a jerk to everyone in this episode.
Well, to be fair, Matt's also a huge jerk in this episode.
He's a jerk for a totally different reason, though, which I will touch on when we get to that. Well, multiple other reasons. Speaking of one of those reasons, we get to see what's going on with the big three, who you'll remember are the three big stars of the show, Tom Jeter, Harriet Hayes, and Simon Stiles. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know where else to say this, but I have to say this because it made me so irritated when I was watching the episode.
Yes.
Okay, so Simon Stiles.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody calls him Sim, right? As like they abbreviate his name to Sim.
Okay.
That's not what a human would do.
No, it is not.
You would call him Cy.
Yes, if you were going to abbreviate Simon.
Why are they calling him Sim? And multiple characters do this. This is clearly just what happens. Like Harriet, they just call Harry. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Why are you calling him Sim?
I mean, maybe it's supposed to be a joke about, like, Topher, and, like...
But Topher at least is, like, Christopher, right? Topher, Christopher?
Yeah.
That's, like, at least how it sounds. Xander, Alexander, that's still how it sounds. Why is everyone calling him Sim?
Yeah, it's weird.
You know what that reads to me as?
What?
That reads to me as a joke. Not even a joke. That just reads to me as someone wrote the dialogue on paper and never said it out loud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, like, I don't know how Aaron Sorkin runs his writer's room, but he feels to me like somebody who does most of the writing on his own and is very dismissive of the other writers on the show. And also, in a later episode, we're going to talk about a real-life feud that Aaron Sorkin was having with a writer. You know what? We're going to talk in detail about it, but I'm just going to throw it out here right now.
Okay.
He was in a real-life feud with a writer from West Wing at this time, whose name is Rick Cleveland. And the character who's a hack that Danny and Matt hate is named Ricky Tahoe.
Yeah, it is not subtle.
You know, Aaron Sorkin really is a genius writer of our time. Anyway, I don't know how he runs his writer's room, but I assume he does a lot of the writing on his own because he just strikes me as that kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so this really strikes me as like he wrote it on the page and never said it out loud because he had nobody he was bouncing ideas off of. Nobody to say, I'm sorry, why is Gilbert and Sullivan funny? That doesn't make any sense.
It was funny when The Simpsons did it.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, you know how much he hates us?
Oh, he hates us so much.
So Tom is reading a blog review from Bernadette's blog saying that Studio 60 is a terrible show that has never been as funny as Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And that Wes's speech should have been the final nail in the coffin and the goodbye whatever to the show.
Yeah, it was the farewell that they deserved. And the two actors are like, okay, it's this whole tirade about how the internet is full of people who are too stupid to appreciate good television.
Okay, this is where I said I was going to bring up J.D. Vance, because I feel like Simon Stiles is channeling J.D. Vance here. He's like, Bernadette is just some woman surrounded by her cats with a freezer full of Jenny Craig and no friends sitting on her couch and blogging.
Yeah, it is very serious J.D. Vance energy. Surprised he's not fucking the couch he's sitting on.
He's, like, so mad at us.
He is. We love you anyway, Aaron Sorkin.
Tom Jeter, the other guy, he's like, I just miss when people had credentials and they had to, like, prove that they knew something before they were allowed to do something as important as talk about television.
He also had to have hated television without pity, right?
Oh.
I'm sorry, is there an episode of The West Wing about how they need to be bombed or whatever?
So, first of all, yes. Secondly, all of the stuff with Ricky Cleveland, I was going to bring this up later, but the stuff with Ricky Cleveland came out in large part, on the Television Without Pity message boards. It's
Oh my god.
I'm stay tuned for our segment, You Know My Work. Yes, Aaron Sorkin was in a feud with Television Without Pity. I feel very strongly that Bernadette's blog is meant to be like Television Without Pity.
Yes.
Harriet, this is all a walk and talk backstage, by the way. So now Harriet and Jeannie have joined them. And Simon's like, hey, is Matt going to be able to write? He just had back surgery. And
Sim is like, I had that back surgery and it takes you out of commission. Not for me, though. I did.
golf.
I played golf, and Jeannie comes in. She's like, oh, you don't have to worry about Matt. He did man-on-lady sex with me.
He did leg lifts.
Yeah, he did leg lifts. He did like 4,000 leg lifts while I watched and ate a banana.
And Danny comes in. She doesn't actually say that part yet. She just says he did a bunch of leg lifts. And which is important, because Danny comes in and he's like, hey, everybody better be funny and not bitch about anything, or else you're all gonna be fired. He's being such a jerk this episode. Anyway, yeah, he tells them that they better be funny or they're all gonna be fired. And actually, again, I like the dialogue, because he actually comes in and he's like, look, I know that you're all nervous. You're all probably thinking, oh my god, do I still have a job? And Tom says, I wasn't thinking that. And Danny goes, oh, well, you should have been.
Jesus.
And
this is definitely the right attitude to have when you're coming into a new job, right?
Right? Anyway, Sim is like, we're just gonna call him Sim now.
Yeah, Sim.
Sim is like, can Matt actually physically move? Because he's telling people that he lifted weights, and I don't believe that. And Jeannie's like, he's not telling people. I saw it. I was at his house all weekend.
And Harriet turns into a pillar of fire and runs out of the room.
Yeah. She storms off, right? She's like, Danny, and Danny's like, go. And then Jeannie is like, can I follow her? And he's like, no, absolutely not. Okay, meeting over.
If there's anything I've learned about women, it's that you have to keep them separated when one gets mad, or else they merge and become She-Hulk.
Yep. But also, he's ending the meeting. He has no plausible reason to tell Jeannie not to go after Harriet, but whatever.
I mean, I think it might actually just be a bad idea.
Oh yeah, that's true. So Sim starts interrogating Danny. He's like, so what do you think of the new show? What do you think of the show this season? And he's like, I don't know, I haven't watched it. He's like, well, what do you think of Tom's Bill Frist impression? He's like, I don't know, I haven't watched it. He's like, interesting that you haven't watched the show that you just took over. And Danny's like, get off my jock.
Yeah, Danny's being such a huge asshole here.
I mean, Sim is calling him out.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't happen here, but later when Danny talks to him about calling him out, again, more good Aaron Sorkin dialogue happens. He says, were you trying to embarrass me, or did you want to make a point? And Sim says, I wasn't trying to embarrass you. And Danny says, okay, what's your point? Like, it's good dialogue. It's good, sharp dialogue. Anyway, in the writer's room, Matt's giving his speech about professionalism.
Yeah, they're pitching a lot of, to be fair, really bad George W. Bush jokes.
Yeah, they're like all political jokes. Yeah, what if he passed a law called the Democracy Act that forbids voting? And then, you know what makes jokes funnier?
Explaining them, repeating them. Does repeating jokes make them funnier? Is a joke funnier after you repeat it? Once you say a joke another time, does that make it funnier?
Well, they also explain the joke. They're like, it's like how all of the laws have, like, the opposite title of what they are, like the Patriot Act and the...
And then Matt's like, oh no, my period, you're all fired!
But yeah, he does tell them, you know, they need to be more professional, and then Harriet storms into the room and is like, you fucking whoremonger! Which... Aaron Sorkin was really excited to write the word whoremonger and make Sarah Paulson yell it. I feel.
It's like when Joss Whedon writes, like, old-timey anti-woman slurs into his,
It's exactly
work.
like that.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I was unaware of this 18th century term for prostitute that you've drudged up to use in your sci-fi show.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Kristen Chenoweth has said that some of these fights that are portrayed on the show are like word for word the fights that she had with Aaron Sorkin. And I think this is probably one of them. That's, again, just my instinct.
Yeah. Because Matt pulls her out, you know, the two of them go off together, and he's like, look, if you ever talk to me like that in front of my writers again, I will bench you. I'm not going to fire you, but I'm going to make you the highest paid extra in Hollywood. You will get no scenes. You will get no nothing. You will just stand in the back and wave at the end of every episode. And if I was her, I would fucking quit right now.
It really, really fucking sucks that she's been put in a position where Matt's going to be able to do things that infuriate her, and because of her career, she's not going to be able to respond to them. And it sucks. Anyway, he gets really upset that she broke up with him by email, which, suck it up, Matt, suck it up.
This could be a plot on Friends.
Right? And she's upset that he is fucking Jeannie, specifically because Jeannie is her co-star. So, like, she has to see her all the time, and she says you had to have known that was going to come back to me, that I was going to hear about it. Like, I feel like you did that specifically to spite me. Then
she lists a weird list of celebrities he's allegedly slept with.
This was another thing where I feel like that was probably part of Aaron Sorkin's thing, and especially when she lists them off and she says Marlo Thomas, and he's like, Marlo Thomas is married to Phil Donahue, who would absolutely still beat me up.
The whole thing feels like a way... I don't think that Aaron Sorkin has slept with these women. I think he wants to imply that he did, though. Not to read too much into this sort of thing.
Well, she says...
like Matt denies that he slept with any of these women, but I feel like the fact that it's being brought up has the implication that, yes, he is someone who habitually sleeps with very famous, beautiful women.
Yeah. And she says, if I slow danced with Tommy Schlamme... if I slow danced with Danny...
God.
Then you would have a shit fit, but... You're gonna go fuck my co-star. That's so not cool. And then she says something which I feel like is so cringe and weird. She's like, I have a very active imagination, and now I have to imagine you and Jeannie having sex. Like, that's not the strong argument you think it is, Harriet.
It really isn't. I've got a strong imagination. That's why they hired me. I thought they hired you because you were an actress.
No, presumably, like, you need a strong imagination to be a good actress.
I don't know if that's true.
Harriet Hayes just said it. It must be true. A man wrote it. It must be true.
Yeah, I don't love their relationship. He has way too much power over her.
Exactly.
And which is weird, because she's one of the stars of the show.
Yeah. So she leaves, and now Matt does feel bad. He's like, oh, wait, maybe it was wrong of me to sleep with my ex's, coworker. Which is true. But also, girl code, Jeannie should have at least brought it up to Harriet.
Yeah.
We skipped over a thing.
Okay.
When they were pitching things in the writer's room.
Mm-hmm.
The musical guest this week is going to be the White Stripes. Mm-hmm. And Tom says that he and Harriet have been working on a sequence where they play Jack and... Who's the other white?
Jill. No.
It's not Jill.
Yeah, I don't remember Jack and his wife.
Well, but the skit is they can't remember if they're married or brother and sister. And credit where it's due, I feel like that could be a funny skit.
Oh, no, I could definitely, yeah.
And just to satisfy Aaron Sorkin's, need for old-timiness, I would cap off that skit by having Donnie and Marie Osmond show up and having the same issue. That's not funny, but Aaron Sorkin would like it.
Yes, you are correct.
Not that it matters. For plot reasons, this sketch will never happen. But I do want to give credit where it's due because we talk about all of the terrible, terrible skits that they have planned. Yeah, no, that's a good funny.
One. Yeah.
And now it's Tuesday.
Yes. Time is moving forward, as it is wont to do.
And over in Jack's office, they're talking about...
we've been talking for over an hour and it's only Tuesday.
They're talking about Rapture magazine. Jordan comes in to the office and she's like, I was talking to your intern, Kayla. And he's like, Kelly, there's this running thing where Jordan can't get anyone's name right. And I know Aaron thinks it's funny, but I just think it's weird. And it's weird that he gave this trait to a woman, especially a woman in her position who absolutely would be getting names correct.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say infantilized, but I actually do, and that's why I'm going to say it. She's weirdly infantilized this whole scene, because they're like, we lost an affiliate, and she's like, what does it matter?
What's an affiliate?
Yeah, what's an affiliate? I'm just a silly little TV baby. I don't know anything. If only some big, strong man would explain to me how running a television network works.
She's like, wait, how did the Christians get mobilized so fast? Is that a thing they do? I know I've worked in television my entire career, but I've never heard of a Christian organization mobilizing a boycott before. Here's the thing about Jordan, though.
Yeah.
I figured out the perfect way to describe her, which is she is a girl boss.
Oof.
And I mean that, like, disrespectfully.
Yes.
She is a girl boss in that she's written really sharp and she's like very no nonsense, but also she seems to have no idea how anything works in the industry that she's apparently high powered in. And she's like, who cares if we lose these affiliates? They're small time. They don't matter. People care about our show. And she has to be told, yeah, people won't care about our show if they can't fucking watch it because all the affiliates pull out, Jordan. She says about the woman from Rapture magazine, she's like, how'd she get mobilized so fast? We've been on this the exact same amount of time and I don't even know how my phone works. And Jack's like, dial 9, genius. And I'm like, you know what, Aaron? It's really great for you to write someone saying something ignorant and then topping them. It's real easy when you get to write their side of the dialogue, isn't it?
What's that quote again? It's, you paint a naked woman because you like looking at her, and then you paint a mirror in her hand and call it vanity, so you can judge her so you can judge the woman you painted for being naked.
Yes, that is 100% what Aaron Sorkin does. Alright, so back at Studio 60, Cal is having the production meeting, and he's going around the room, but they don't know what sets to build, they don't know what costumes they need, they don't know what special effects they need, or video playback they need, because Matt hasn't written a fucking thing. He's all like, oh, I gotta get the cold open first, and then I can figure out how the rest of the show flows. And it's like, dude, do you understand how much money is being spent right now for all of these departments to be sitting on hold because you haven't given them a single thing to do, because you haven't written a single word? And do you understand how much overtime all of these union guys are going to need to clock to get all of these sets built when you finally write the show 12 hours before it goes on? Like,
Aaron Sorkin worked in TV before this.
Yeah, but not this kind of TV.
I guess, but like, he ran a show for like 11 million years. West Wing was on for a while. This feels like stuff he should know. So,
this is really weird, but this reminds me of an interview I heard with Fred Savage.
Go on.
Because Fred Savage does a lot of TV direction now.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how the first time he directed a show, there was a scene where there was like an arm, like a parking gate arm thing that comes down.
Yeah.
And production was like, do you want it yellow or do you want it white and red? And he was like, I don't know, whatever you think. And they were like, no, you need to tell us. And he realized that in trying to be deferential to them and saying, no, do whatever you think, he felt like he was being like a good guy. But he was actually creating a lot of problems by not just making a decision and telling it to them.
Yes. Like, there's a reason directors kind of end up with the attitudes they have. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to be in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And you need to be the sort of person who's happy to be in charge of everything.
Yeah, you need to be decisive. Alright, so then we have the scene that I mentioned where Danny is like, Sim, what the fuck is your problem with me? And he's like, my problem with you is that you left, and now you're all like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to slum it on TV. Meanwhile, this is like my job.
Yeah, this is like my big thing. This is the main thing I'm famous for. And Danny's like,
yeah, although this scene will come back again. Like, it's weird that they needed you 3 different scenes to get this whole, like, backstory out. Mm. In Matt's office,
Danny's being shitty about these people's profession. Like, he's legitimately only here because he can't do anything else. Mm-hmm. Like, it's an asshole thing. This guy was essentially demoted to a dream position.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, then, well, although I know it's a dream position, he does immediately get told that Jack White has acute tonsillitis, so now the White Stripes have to pull out.
Yes.
So a lot of his job sucks. He walks into Danny's office and he's got the whole thing where he's got the board with the cards on it showing all of the skits that are going to go up that night. And all they have is monologue and then 2 segments where the White Stripes are playing. And Danny's like, nope, we don't have those 2 segments anymore either. No more white stripes.
Come on, you know at least one sketch you're going to be doing. Crazy Christians. Because it's the one that Jordan refused to take off the air even though affiliates are going to pull out.
You said that kind of sarcastically, but when I was watching this episode, I did feel like that should be on the board. It did bother me that it wasn't on the board.
Yeah, it should be. It's the one sketch they know they need to do.
So, they're all sitting around talking about what the cold open has to be. It has to set the tone. And, okay, I've watched this episode like 7 or 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
Max, can you explain something to me?
Yes.
They feel like this cold open has to almost be like an apology for what happened last week with Wes. Why?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan...
Oh, we're so sorry about that compelling television that you were forced to watch, where our showrunner had a breakdown on the air.
I mean, Jordan kind of pointed that out, too, when, what's-his-face, when Steven Weber was like, you need to talk about this, she was like, why? It was good TV, which I know she's a sexy TV baby, but she's also correct there. It was a good TV.
Well, we saw that in the control room when it was happening. The head of standards and practices was like, turn it off. He's telling people to change the channel. And Cal says, I promise you, no one is changing the channel. Like, do you know how many people are going to be watching now because of this? Like, what do you mean you have to apologize for, like, I don't understand what they think they have to make up for. But that is going to be the premise of the cold open. So, they talk about all of the things that the cold open has to be.
Okay, I'm sorry. I hate this so much. It's like, I'm sorry to use house as a thing for this because I don't know how much they do it.
By all means.
I don't know how much they actually do this on House, but it's that thing where someone says 2 words that sound similar to the solution to a problem.
And then somebody says, wait, say that again.
Yeah. Did they do that on House a lot? Like, I feel like
They do that on all
I feel as
procedural.
useless as a toad sitting on a stool. What's that? Toadstool? Why, of course, that's the perfect antidote to the disease she has. We'll poison it out of her.
So...
I didn't watch a lot of House, but I'm given to understand that there was a lot of that sort of thing.
Yes, but they literally do exactly what you're talking about. They're like, it needs to be big, a big musical number, an apology. We need to promise we'll be model citizens. And Matt's like, wait, say that again. And then he says, do you know who does the best frat humor of all time?
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Okay, so this is important. I'm sorry. Okay, so just I feel like
Are you thinking about the Glenn Weldon review of Joker?
No, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Tell me about the Glenn Weldon review of Joker.
Okay, I think this was Glenn Weldon. I might be wrong. I might be attributing the wrong person for it, but it feels like a Glenn Weldon thing. It's like, I'm watching Joker, and there's a scene where the investment bankers are beating him up, and they start singing Send in the Clowns.
That was Glenn Weldon.
And then they start singing the second verse. And I will accept the very unlikely possibility that 2 investment bro banker types would know the, first verse of Send in the Clowns and sing it while beating someone up that is dressed like a clown. It doesn't seem terribly likely, but I will buy that this is a thing that will happen. I do not buy that 2 investment bro bankers know the second verse to Send in the Clowns enough to sing it perfectly from memory while beating up a man dressed like a clown. That is not a thing that would ever happen.
That's true. That's not my thing, though. Okay, like I said, I'm getting a little ahead of myself because...
Gilbert and Sullivan is bro humor.
Yes, okay, so Aaron Sorkin is trying to be really smart here. He's trying to be like, yeah, I know that you think of it as highbrow, but did you know Shakespeare was actually meant for the masses? Which is true. Yeah. 100% true.
I mean, Shakespeare's the guy you say if you want bro humor.
I mean, Shakespeare literally had your mom jokes.
Yeah. Villain, I hast undone your mother. Titus Andronicus.
But the reason that the song works as a joke, I mean, it doesn't. But the joke, like if we're going to say what is the joke of it, okay? The joke is that they are doing a highbrow musical number, but saying vulgar lyrics, right? That's the juxtaposition, right? That kind of juxtaposition that you have to, like, get synced in your mind. That's what causes you to laugh. That's where the joke is.
Hey, did you ever see the, Netflix show The Prince?
No.
About the royal family? It was animated.
Oh, yeah.
And the one joke is that they're all very proper, but they say gross stuff all the time. I only know this because of, what do you remember the name of the YouTube channel?
JXL.
Yeah, because of the excellent JXL video about the Prince. Watch all of JXL's videos; they're good.
And he's only got a few of them.
He's only got a few of them, and like I've watched the Brickleberry trilogy one like 3 times.
Okay, but here's the thing: if the joke is the juxtaposition between the highbrow of Gilbert and Sullivan and the vulgarity of the actual lyrics, then if you're telling me right now, hey, did you know Gilbert and Sullivan is actually low art? Then there is no incongruence for me to laugh at, and there is, in fact, no joke!
You're right, that completely undermines the thing they're doing. Wow. Huh, I did not... Yeah, no, wow. He just completely undermined his own point. Wild.
Anyway, they're like, oh, okay, this is it. We finally cracked the cold open. We're gonna write a fucking Gilbert and Sullivan parody. And he tells Sim and Tom, like, go get a change of clothes and then come back. It's gonna be us writing the show this week. Because we don't care about the writer's room. We're gonna pay them for nothing.
We're doing a lot of that this week.
And then when he tells them to go out, they say, Harriet too? And there's this long pause while Matt thinks about it before he finally relents and says, yeah, Harriet too. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It is so uncool. And I know that television is an HR free zone. I get that. But fuck you.
Yeah, like, if I was Harriet, you know what? I wouldn't care about the damage to my career. I would leave over this. This is a leave-overing thing.
Well, and I mean, we talked about this before when you're talking about an actress and you're like, hey, how come she just dropped off the face of the earth?
Yes, this is when we were pleasantly surprised that someone just switched to,
Well, we're not sure, but from what we could tell, looking someone up, we were like, okay, it looks like she went on to pursue her own passions and didn't, but we don't know. We don't know for sure.
We don't, it's true. It happens so much when you haven't seen an actress for a while and you look it up and it's like, oh. Mm-hmm. Or actors too sometimes. I mean,
yeah, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, famously.
Alright, so we go to commercial and when we come back, it's Friday. And we see...
Gotta get down on Friday.
Yes. We see a news crew outside and they are reporting on the protesters with their signs that say TGS, I'm sorry, not TGS, Studio 60 equals God haters.
It's not really
Did
all
Aaron
that
Sorkin
pithy.
write those signs?
Oh.
No, that's mean. But he doesn't like...
Well, they're too short for him to have written them.
Mm-hmm. So, they're getting ready for the show. Matt's freaking out because it's hot outside and nobody laughs when they're hot. And he goes and he looks at the board. All done, the night all laid out, and he's like, this is it. This is a great show. And Max, I haven't read these to you yet.
All right.
But I wrote down the names of the sketches that are going on tonight.
All right, hit me with them.
Okay, so first of all, because they're going to open with the Gilbert and Sullivan number, they got the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra to come back them up for the opening number. And apparently they are also the musical guest. So there are going to be 2 musical segments that are the Los Angeles Philharmonic just performing. So,
you know what it reminds me of? In 30 Rock? Oh, wait, this is one of our sections.
It is.
Okay, well, I'll keep it in my back pocket for that.
Okay. I'm sorry, the first one is the one that made me laugh the most. So they're all down here from here, but Centaur the Courier.
What is that a parody of?
It doesn't have to be a parody. It's just a sketch about a centaur who's a courier.
Okay, you know what? I would watch that. If that were a TV show, I would watch it. Or a movie. It could be like that Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie where he rides a bike.
There you go.
But with a centaur.
Mm-hmm.
Still could be Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I bet he'd be a centaur.
Then, Crazy Christians. That is way too early in the night. That's what people are tuning in to watch. You need to put that later.
Yeah.
Okay. Jamaican Barbecue Hut, 70s Family, Mannequin Robinson, I don't know if this is a Jackie Robinson thing or if it's like Swiss Family Robinson, but with mannequins. I like to think that was my first thought when I saw Mannequin Robinson, that it's Swiss Family Robinson with mannequins.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Ballerina tryouts. Madonna Inn. So presumably an inn run by Madonna.
Okay.
Julia Child's Child.
My God.
Julia Child's Child.
Brilliant, groundbreaking comedy.
Okay, this is important, which I'm going to put some respect out here right now. This is going to be a plot point next week, but we see Commedia dell'arte, and that's going to be a plot point next week that was a skit that didn't go over well this week.
All right.
In Line at the Club, Happy Town, Dig Dim Sum, Shoulder Parrot. Kind of interested in what that is.
Do you think they didn't think people would pause to read these?
I do think that. They didn't think that. Beating Up Rudy. And then there are...
Also, how many sketches are in one...
Well, I noticed that I didn't write down when they happen, but there are cards that indicate when the commercials happen as well. And in a live show like Saturday Night Live, there's a commercial after every segment, but that is not what's happening here. They're having multiple segments in a row without commercial breaks in between them. Oh, also, I skipped Studio 60 News. That one of them was Studio 60 News.
Yeah.
We then see some cards with skits that presumably got cut, including Vacuum Championship and...
Oh, put Vacuum Championship back in.
You know which one I want them to have put back in?
What?
Matador Bank Teller!
Yeah. Yeah, those sound like sketches that would be really fun for about 1 minute and probably insufferable at 9, which is probably what they are.
Yep. Anyway, so that's the lineup. That's the lineup that Matt is so excited about.
How long is this show, though? Come on.
It's 3 hours.
Seriously? I mean, I guess it would have to be with that many sketches. Is that how long SNL is?
No, I'm sorry. It's only an hour and a half. Because the show starts at 11:30 and the good nights are at 1. So it's only an hour and a half. And I also... I feel like this is one of those things that I should just ignore and move on with.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's loading in the audience, he says that it's 8 o'clock when he's loading in the audience, even though the timer says that he's only got 30 minutes left, which should mean that it's 10, not 8. And other people are saying they've only got 30 minutes left. And I'm like, I should just ignore that. I should just let it go. But they made the giant clock a plot point. And then they expect me to not keep track of the time. Anyway, Danny says it was the best dress anyone has ever seen. The audience was just losing their shit at the dress rehearsal, apparently.
Good Lord.
And they gaze out at the theater, everyone bustling below them, doing all of the things that they wrote, bringing all the things they wrote to life. And Danny's like, hey, is this thing with you and Harriet going to be a problem? And then Matt explains why he likes Harriet.
It's because she's man smart.
She's super funny, but only and she's got millions of fans, but only 10 people in the world really understand why she's so funny. And he's one of them. And he likes being one of those guys.
Jesus Christ.
I know! She's basically like the West Wing. Liking her makes him feel smarter than other people who don't like her. Because you have to be smart to like her.
No, it's that Professor Frink bit from when he's teaching kindergarten.
I was actually thinking it's like that copy and paste about Rick and Morty.
Yeah, you won't enjoy this on the same level I do.
Mm-hmm. God. Then Danny goes to talk to Sim, and they have their final, having it out about why they're so angry, and we find out that before Danny left, Sim had just started the show, and he came in and he was, really angry that Jamie Foxx and Denzel Washington and
all the other famous black guys were getting famous black roles, and he was getting nothing.
Mm-hmm. And he stormed into his office and he said, I went to Yale Drama. I don't belong here. And that made Danny angry, because Danny does belong there.
Oh, now it's the reverse.
Yeah.
Now this is Sim's home, and now Danny's invading, and Danny's not giving it the respect.
But basically, they, come to a peace then. They're both like, yes, we both belong here, it's fine. And then Sim admits his insecurity, which is that Ricky and Ron have been pressuring him to do impressions, and he doesn't do impressions. And then he does a terrible Bill Cosby impression. And
we're going to have a lot of 30 Rock comparisons this episode, huh?
That's why I had to bring up the Bill Cosby impression, yeah. And Danny's like, I don't want you to do impressions, I want you to do funny things. So that's the end of that plot.
Yeah, I guess impressions aren't generally that funny. Is it because we have less distinctive celebrities now?
I mean...
How do you do a Timothée Chalamet impression? Do you just look gaunt and emaciated?
So there's a woman on TikTok who does impressions, and like when she comes up on my For You page, she'll do impressions of people I didn't realize were distinctive until she does them. Mm. But like she'll do an Amy Adams, and I'll be like, that's exactly what Amy Adams sounds like. So I think a good impressionist can
Yeah.
Can elevate the art form.
It's like how A24 does elevated horror, it's elevated impressions.
Yes, exactly. Alright, so now we have to wrap up the stuff with Jeannie and Harriet.
Jeannie tells Harriet that it's just sex, and
she and Matt are just fuck buddies. They've been fuck buddies forever. It doesn't mean anything.
But not while you two were dating.
But not while they were dating. And, hey, sorry, I hope we're cool. And then Harriet hits her over the head with a candy glass bottle. And here's the thing, you didn't like this exchange. She says, eat him up, Jeannie, with the light brown hair. And then they do like a weird handshake thing.
Yeah.
And you were like, what the fuck is that? But I liked that it implied that they had a history, right? Like that they had a shorthand with each other. All right, now Jack and Jordan are setting up on the balcony where they're going to watch the show.
Jack's drinking and he's like, oh, I'm going to get fired and we're all going to be homeless because they let a woman run the network and she's going to ruin fake SNL.
He does tell Jordan that, like, if this doesn't work, she's the one who's going to get fired. And then he says, you've got spunk, Mary.
See, I know TV. I reference the Mary Tyler Moore Show, like one of the most iconic and popular shows of all time.
But this is the thing. Like, I don't think Aaron Sorkin has a sense of humor. I don't think he knows why things are funny. He just knows which classic things are supposedly funny. Mm-hmm. So he knows Groucho Marx is supposedly funny, so he puts a Groucho Marx quote on the doomsday clock, but he doesn't actually understand what makes a joke land. He knows that Mary Tyler Moore is supposed to be funny, so it makes sense for Jack to reference Mary Tyler Moore, but he didn't write his own good dialogue to go there.
And, like, he plays the quote so straight. You've got spunk, kid. I hate spunk. Well, it's a weird read on the line.
Okay, so actually, I know I just trashed it, but I actually like the read on the line, because he says it kind of jokingly, and then when she tells him that she's going to charge the advertisers who want to come back after this a coward fee, she's going to charge them 120% of their original ad buy, and then he repeats it, and he's like, I hate spunk. I fucking hate this woman.
So everyone is getting ready for the cold open. All of the actors are wearing white suits and dresses.
Like it's a choir rehearsal, like it's a middle school choir recital.
And as you pointed out, Simon Helberg is here. You might know Simon Helberg from Poker Face, or if you are of the same generation that Tina and I are from,
Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog?
Yes, he was Moist in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Iconically, he was one of the nerds from the Big Bang Theory.
Leonard.
And they had him wear a... Really, Leonard? I thought Leonard was the one...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't know, one of the other ones.
I only know Leonard and Sheldon. Those are the only two I know. Anyway,
it doesn't matter.
He was one of the nerds from the Big Bang Theory. He's actually attractive and funny in other stuff. It's just weird that he's here and he, like... I think he does stuff later... The cast for Studio 60 is surprisingly stacked. I don't know how much this is true, but I heard one of the main reasons it didn't get renewed for the second season, other than how terrible it is. And to be clear, we are speaking with begrudging affection right now here on the Cold Open episode. But after the Christmas episode, it goes downhill so fast. Yeah, we are not talking about anything past the Christmas episode.
Yeah, but other than that, I saw somewhere that one of the reasons that it was not renewed is because of how expensive it was, because the cast is stacked.
And, like, Simon Helberg was, and honestly probably still is, a gettable person, but if you have a cast that has, like, 12 gettable people in it and you don't have them do anything, like, Glenn from Superstore is in this show as one of the writers.
You mean Mark McKinney from Kids in the Hall?
Yes, I was going to say he was one of the kids in the hall.
Yeah. Also,
and they don't have him do anything.
Don from The Office.
Yeah, Don from The Office.
The British Office.
Oh, I thought that was Colin from What We Do in the Shadows. I thought that was his character. That was Nate. Nate in The Office.
Yeah, no, the British Pam, Dawn.
Ah.
Lucy, who was also in,
The American Office?
No, she's not in The American Office. She's in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh, yeah. I mixed her up with... I thought Nellie was someone from the original Office.
She's not. She's on Doctor Who.
Oh, she's Sarah Jane, right?
No, she's Donna.
Oh, she's Donna. Okay. Doctor Who is one of my big nerd blind spots. We started watching the new season, which I have enjoyed thus far. We should finish it at some point.
We should finish it.
I heard people are mixed about it, and I was like, how? It's really solid. I mean, is it because I haven't watched more Doctor Who?
I don't know. I heard Space Babies was the worst episode, and we're past that.
Yeah, Space Babies was awful.
Maybe people are just mixed because they saw Space Babies. Alright, so they all do like a little cast prayer backstage. Harriet is the one who prays, and she's like...
Dear God, please strike all other comedy shows dead so that we won't be the worst thing to happen to comedy. So people will be talking about the vast tragedy when everyone in SNL died and not how badly we're going to bomb tonight.
Alright, and then they sing their song.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about the song.
Okay, we're so close to the end of the episode, and yet we're going to have to talk for 11 million years.
Okay, so it is a parody of Modern Major General, right? So the line that is repeated over and over is, and so when we walk into this august and famous studio, will be the very model of a modern network TV show. And
it almost scans.
The idea is that they are, in fact, apologizing for making good television. And so here are the lines.
Okay. Sock them to me.
We're starting out from scratch after a run of 20 years or so. We hope that you don't mind that our producer was caught doing blow.
And I hope you find that line funny because they repeat it 7 times. Well,
that's how the song works.
Yeah, they repeat it like 3 times after they say it,
right.
Which, as to call back something Matt said earlier this episode, nothing is funny the second time you hear it. And believe it or not, it doesn't magically become funny the 3rd or 4th time you hear it either.
But like I said, the reason this is supposed to be funny is because it's vulgar to say he was caught doing blow in a Gilbert and Sullivan song. But if a Gilbert and Sullivan song is already lowbrow, what is the joke? The joke is somebody backstage at a comedy used cocaine. Like...
Oh my god, that's so... My socks have flown off of my feet.
Alright, but here's... Okay, I really hate this next one so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next verse. Yes, it's hard to be a player when at heart you've always had a hunch. To bite the hand that feeds you is a scary way of doing lunch. Okay, that first sentence doesn't make any sense. It's hard to be a player when at heart you've always had a hunch. What does that mean?
It means that someone is ripping off the Critic episode where they do a musical version of Hunchback.
Hunch needs an indirect object after it. A hunch about what? It's hard to be a player when at heart you've always had a hunch. They just couldn't think of anything to rhyme with lunch and thought we wouldn't notice. They weren't expecting me to watch this 7 or 8 times. And I don't mind the follow-up line so much. I think the follow-up line's pretty good. To bite that hand that feeds you is a scary way of doing lunch. That's a decent line.
Yeah, but like there are other words. Bunch. Crunch. Those are 2 ones you could use.
Okay, and then Harriet has a verse.
Mm-hmm.
I am a Christian tried and true, baptized at age 11, so unlike the liberals, gays, and Jews, I'm going straight to heaven. Now, this is funny, because it's the opposite of what Harriet really believes, except that it's clear in later episodes that the public is not sure what Harriet believes.
Yes.
So, what is the joke? What is the joke? But that sentence leads directly into the next one. But if you feel you've been cheated and our sordid content lets you down... Okay, so we start off with, I am Christian, and then that leads into, but if you feel our sordid content lets you down.
No, it doesn't. Those two things do not connect at all.
Those things don't connect, so why do they come together like that? Right?
There needs to be a follow-up for I am a Christian, tried and true, and I'm going straight to heaven. That needs a second part to it before you can move on to the next thing.
Plus, the whole point of the song is that they're apologizing for their sordid content. Anyway, let me just finish this line up because, but if you feel you've been cheated and our sordid content lets you down, we'll happily do the favor of an intellectual reach around.
And now remember, every time one of these lines is said, it's then repeated 3 times by the background chorus.
Okay, but in this one, we get an anti-sex worker joke too, because they say they'll happily do the favor of $100 hookers intellectual reach around. And then Harriet turns around and is jokingly mad at them. And she goes, that's not what we said. But if the joke is already that you're combining the highbrow and the lowbrow, you can't then be angry at the chorus singing something vulgar. Otherwise, you have undermined the joke. The audience doesn't care, though. The audience is cracking up and losing their shit.
Hysterical, howling. I think I mentioned it last week or possibly in a different podcast, but I saw a thing from Lisa Kudrow recently where she talked about how her least favorite thing on Friends was when she would tell a joke that she knew wasn't that good, and the audience would over laugh at it, and she'd be like, no, there's good writing on the show. You laugh when the jokes are good. Why are you laughing at a bad joke? Which I think has to be a reaction to the stupid Phoebe teaches Joey French.
You hate that joke so much.
If it weren't for the shark porn episode, it would be the worst thing Friends ever did.
Okay, final verse. We know that evangelicals are lining up to tag our toe, and then the corporations will not hesitate to pull their dough. That's just a fact. That's not a joke. That's just a fact.
I don't mean that as an insult. I'm just stating it as fact.
So again, I must ask you, Max.
Oh my god, that's such a good patter song as compared to this. Where's the Bathroom from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
Yes.
Listen to Where's the Bathroom from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Do
it now.
Which is one of my least favorite songs from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, actually.
Really? I feel like most of the ones in the last season are kind of clunkers.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that to say how strong Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is.
Yes.
Okay, so now that we've heard the verses, what is the joke?
Well, I have no idea. What is the joke here? Why is everyone laughing? Nothing funny is happening. Nothing funny is happening multiple times.
And to kind of set us up for talking about this terrible, terrible cold open, I showed you a classic Saturday Night Live cold open. I said classic kind of jokingly, but it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Time, right?
Yeah.
Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. Anyway, I showed you the musical, the Taylor Swift musical monologue from Saturday Night Live.
Which is good. It's funny. Taylor Swift is not a talented actress, but she pulled that off really well. Mm-hmm. As anyone who's seen Valentine's Day or Cats can attest to.
Oh, poor Taylor Swift.
I'm sorry. No, those are the only 2 movies I think she's ever been in. Unless you're counting...
What about Trolls?
I was going to say unless you're counting voice acting, which I wasn't. Was she in Trolls?
Wasn't she?
She was the love interest in the Lorax movie.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that!
For the framing story boy, because I guess he needed a love interest. I wouldn't be surprised if she was in Trolls, because it's mostly pop stars, but isn't Zooey Deschanel or Anna Kendrick?
Anna Kendrick is the main troll. I just thought she was one of the trolls.
She might be. They've made 4 of those movies, and anyone who's ever had a pop album has been in them, so.
This feels so lazy.
Well, I don't know if it's lazy. Clearly a lot of work went into it. It's not
enough work. Why?
Well, no, it's not funny, though. I think someone tried very hard and just failed.
Well, but the verses don't flow into each other. They don't like build as a joke. They don't tell a story, right? Like they don't weave a narrative of what I'm supposed to be laughing at. Like Taylor Swift's song creates a narrative of what I'm supposed to be laughing at.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand the thought process here. I think there was one, clearly, but like a bad parody of a Gilbert and Sullivan song is like, it's not something you laze your way into writing on your TV show. Like, I think that Aaron Sorkin genuinely thinks that this is funny. I think he genuinely thinks this is a hilarious bit.
I think he's an alien who doesn't understand human humor. But, yeah, I think he thinks this is hilarious. Anyway, so the audience laughs their asses off, and we
laughs and laughs like it's an episode of Peppa fucking Pig.
We cut to Matt, happy for a second that everything has gone well, and then the clock flips over, and we see it's, 6 hours, or 6 days, 6 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes until the next show. Like that Battlestar Galactica episode 11 minutes, except about a comedy show instead of the Cylons coming to kill you. Just to remind you what the stakes are.
So yeah, do you want to just dive right into our segments?
Let's dive into our segments. Our first segment is 2 times as long and half as funny, which is what episode of 30 Rock basically did this plot.
Okay, I'm going to give it to 3. It's just going to be comparisons to 30 Rock, though.
Okay.
The big one, and the one that honestly this episode is, I think, that 30 Rock was riffing on this episode, is the episode of 30 Rock where they have to pitch TGS to Cabletown.
After Cabletown has bought out GE. That episode's called 100.
Yeah. And the big thing that makes me think of it is that they end up doing it because it's the same premise. They need to write the best episode of television they've ever written to convince the network to keep TGS on the air. Mm-hmm. Except, in their case, they are incapable of doing that, so Liz just causes a gas leak to poison the...
Yeah, so the studio audience is just laughing, and they sound really similar to this studio audience.
Yeah, the studio audience is in hysterics over the terrible TGS,
Yeah.
And since the Cabletown executives are in the studio audience, they agree to give TGS more seasons.
And this is the only episode, as far as I can recall, that actually has Liz, standing back and looking at a board with cards on it outlining the show, like Matt does in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agreed. This definitely had 100 vibes to me.
Also, not exactly it, but the Gilbert and Sullivan parody did remind me of when Tracy bought the New York orchestra and had
the New York Philharmonic, yeah.
The New York Philharmonic, and had them just do the theme song to Sanford and Son.
Yeah, just to torment.
I don't remember what the song was.
Just to torment Jack. Yeah. And the references to Cosby. Oof.
Yeah, which 30 Rock did.
30 Rock called out Cosby before Cosby was called out on a big stage. Probably not a coincidence that Hannibal Buress, who's the person who called him out publicly for probably the first time to really do it widely and publicly, was also a writer on 30 Rock.
Yeah, the 30 Rock joke, because in this show, they're asking him to do an impression of Cosby, and in 30 Rock, they're trying to convince Tracy to do something, and they have Josh do an impression of Cosby over the phone, and Tracy, upon hearing the voice of Bill Cosby, flies into a rage because of what Bill Cosby did to his aunt.
Yup.
Which I guess isn't really funny in context of the real life things Bill Cosby was doing.
It's interesting that they called it out before anybody else was, though.
Yeah. Because it is kind of played as a joke. Although I guess the joke is more that they expected that this would work on Tracy, and it has the opposite effect.
Mm-hmm. Well, and don't forget, 30 Rock did the same thing with Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
They called that out before that was public as well. All right, so Our second segment is Listen Lady, a gender I write perfectly well for when the story calls for it, which is what's the best Aaron Sorkin woman moment?
Okay, I think I'm going to have to give it... I'm going to need to stop giving it to her at some point. I think I gave it to her last episode, too. Jordan's, I'm a sexy TV baby who doesn't understand what affiliates are. Please explain it to me, big, strong man.
Well, I think it's fine you give it to Jordan, because I'm going to give it to Harriet and Jeannie the first time we see Jeannie with Harriet's, I wish I had your body. Oh. Yes, Aaron Sorkin, that's how women talk to each other.
You have excellent breasts today, Georgette.
Mm. And then finally, Do I Know You? You Know My Work, which is which part of this episode was just ripped from reality. And we already talked about this because I wanted to talk about the Television Without Pity message boards.
Yes, it is definitely that.
And I think it's important that our listeners know, and I will go into this in more detail because there are episodes where it's going to be more relevant, but Aaron Sorkin posted on the Television Without Pity message boards under the name Benjamin, which is Aaron Sorkin's actual middle name.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We're going to get into it.
I mean, I nearly had it out with the Television Without Pity, because in their Buffy write-ups, they described Tara's dress in Once More With Feeling as basically a potato sack, and I'm like, she looks so pretty in that episode. You shut up.
They said that the corset bottom unattractively hit her at the widest part of her hips and was mean to do to a woman who has a perfectly nice figure.
Okay.
I also remember the Television Without Pity review of Once More With Feeling.
It looks nice on her. The dress looks nice on her.
They weren't. I just want to say that they weren't being overly critical of Amber Benson. They were just calling out that they felt like that it wasn't the most flattering cut, specifically where the waist dropped. And yes, I agree with you. I think she looks pretty in that dress. I just don't want to give our listeners who maybe were not heavily into Television Without Pity the impression they were being overly mean to Amber Benson, because they absolutely were not. And I appreciate your strong desire to defend her, though.
Yes.
It's part of what made me fall in love with you.
I'm also defending the costumers. I think it's a nice dress. Like, there were some bad outfits on Buffy. Not to Charm's degree, but, you know. Mm-hmm. I saw another, I see it in the wild sometimes, people occasionally, and I have to think they're trolling. It was someone who was like, Charm's worst season is better than Buffy's best season. And it's like, there's not a person alive.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, this is a troll.
Yeah, I'm like, there is not a person alive who believes that.
Alright, so next time we're going to talk about episode 3, The Focus Group. And according to the Google Play description, which, just to remind you, the show is not streaming anywhere. For some reason, the show isn't streaming anywhere, so we purchased it on Google Play. Anyway, The Google Play description is, a network focus group sends a scare through the company when the results indicate that the ratings success of Matt and Danny's first show might have been a one-time thing.
Oh, no. Good Lord.
It's really not an accurate description of what happens in that episode. I know you're shocked.
Google got something wrong?
They must have let their AI write that description.
Oh. Did you see someone's trying to figure out how to sue, I think it's Amazon, because their family got poisoned from a recipe from an AI book they published?
Oh, I didn't see that. That's interesting. All right, let's finish this up because I'm almost out of battery.
All right.
Our show is partially listener supported. If you want to be one of the supporters, you should head over to our website, www.welcometotelevision.net, and click on our Patreon link. We'd like to thank our current $5 and above patrons, Beryl, Patricia, Rosa, Ryan, Maricruz, Benjamin, Kate, Jen, Dan, Anthony, and Daniel.
If you'd like to support the show in other ways, you could always rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find the show.
If you want to talk about this episode, or any episode of any television show, hit me up if you want to talk about how the West Wing failed. Then you can find us on Blue Sky at Welcome to Television, or you can email us at ilovetelevisionzines@gmail.com.
So until next time, I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And this has been Welcome to the Sunset Strip.